Peak. Peak is the only word that I can use to describe Revered insanity. Now, if many of you are like me, we all started off at anime, Cambione, High School DxD. Then you might have grown up. You might have started watching a bit more isekai, let's say Miru, right, reincarnated as a slime, right? And you might have thought, hey, even Tokyo Ghoul. You might have thought, hey, that was peak. But then eventually you hit a block, right? And you might be like, hey, Theo, what is that block? That block is an anime hitting a point where there's no new episodes coming out and you can no longer wait. I can't remember what anime that was for me. I honestly can't remember and I'm sad, but I just know it was a good anime. It hit a block for me. I could not wait. And what did I do? I started reading the manga. And when when you just start reading manga, you are going everywhere, man. You're going to all the popular series like JJK, for example. You're just going to mainstream stuff. But eventually you hit a point where maybe you see something on the front page or you hear some whispers and you start reading some manhwa. And manhwa is the greatest invention of mankind. Manhwa slop is for chuds, and I am a big fat chud. I'ma be honest, I love my manga slop. I eat that shit up every day, and I know a lot of you do as well, right? And there are some slop that has transcended slop and went off the peak. Revered Insanity slash Goo Master, which is what it's called, would be one of them. But I'm more talking about Greatest Estate Developer, Demonic Emperor, Master. What do you call it? No, not Goo Master. I mean the Fated Villain, right? Eternal Supreme Peak. I will be doing a video on that. It pretty much transcends slop and goes on to peak. But Revered Insanity, I will tell you guys, if you guys just read the manga did not do it justice, right? I always heard whispers of Revered Insanity, and I was like, okay, it's good, I'm gonna wait on the manga, right? I did not reach that tipping point where I felt like I needed to read light novels. And anytime I did try to read light novels, like, hey, Solo Leveling, I tried to read the light novel, it just wasn't doing it for me. I took a leap of faith. Revered Insanity, I am sorry, you are the best number one manga light novel I have ever read. I will say this hands down. You must and you should read Revered Insanity, right? Now, people might be asking, hey, Theo, what are you on? What are you smoking? It can't be that good. I'm telling you, it very much is that. It's peak. It is peak, and there is no other word to describe it. Let us start from the beginning, right? The world building. It's another cultivator manga, right? You have your cultivation. Now, this kind of gets a little bit confusing because our main character, Gu Yue Fang Yuan, actually came from Earth, came to this world. He then, 500 years later into the future, he then got reincarnated back into the same world, and that's where we start off. So he has loose memories of Earth, and he has 500 years of knowledge starting from scratch, right? I'm not gonna spoil too much. I will say the main power source, for example, are goo, and there are living creatures that the pretty much cultivators have to catch, tame, train, right, to actually make use of their power. That in itself brings a whole other level to the world building and to the characters and how they gain their actual power. The next thing, the story is so good, you honestly don't know what to expect. A couple of things are made very clear to us, the reader, is that nothing is ever promised to the main character, right? He could be going on a a mission to get an item for himself to get stronger, and he does not get it. Like, it's nothing is ever promised, right? Anything could happen to this guy. It's outside of his reach. In the initial stages where he did have his memories from the future. It helped him a lot, but some stuff in the story gets altered, right, because of his influence in the past. So his information is becoming less useful. Along with that, because of his 500 years of knowledge, he cannot remember all of this, or he wasn't even planning to remember all of this. He didn't plan to reincarnate. So a lot of the stuff he'll try to remember and not remember in the minute, because it all blended together in his great expanse of knowledge, right? There's an arc. I'll call it the Binding arc. Hey, perfection. That author, he deserves the world. In that arc, he pretty much meets someone, I would say, who is on his level at the time, and I would say they get a rivalry type of brotherly bond, which, hey, I don't want to spoil too much, but you fell in love with both characters, right? It was just amazing to see their entire storyline and their entire arc and how that progressed. I'm not gonna spoil too much. Yeah, I keep saying it, but I'm telling you guys, you should read it. It is absolute peak. I would not recommend any other manga. Well, not manga, any other light novel. For now, I'm gonna be reading more manga. Right? I do know Eternal Supreme is pretty good in manga wise. I'm gonna try reading the light novel. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna read the light novel specifically, because I feel like Eternal Supreme, if you know, you know, it's such a graphical, good looking manga that I don't feel like words could just do it justice. You need to see it, and I felt the manga more with how I was looking at it for the art style, and less about the story. Well, yeah, the story is pretty good, but the art just kept me going. It was truly pushing me. But 100% do recommend you guys watch. Well, not watch. Read Revered Insanity. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's peak. There's not much more to say. 100% do read it. You guys have my blessing, and I will be coming out with more videos in the future. Hope you guys like this one.